Hello beautiful noodles, and welcome to another video. Today I am going to be playing A Little to the Left again. We're gonna pick up right where we left off last time, but this time I have prompts. I have decided to do icebreakers so that I can have more to talk about, hopefully, and not have such awkward pauses and stuff like that. So we're gonna get into the game now and also get into some icebreakers. And if anybody has any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments below or on my community tab, or tweet them at me, however you want to ask them, and I can easily compile those and answer some questions in another video like this, because I fully intend to make more parts of this game and I'm gonna need some stuff to talk about. So feel free to send me those questions and I will be glad to answer them for you in another video. So while I try to figure out how to sort these papers and stuff here, let's get into our first icebreaker question that I have for you, which is, does your car have a name? And if so, what is it? So yes, I name my cars. I am one of those people who gets very attached to inanimate things, and I think these things have feelings, and so I give my cars names and they have personalities. Now, funny story about my car. My car, like my actual car, has been broken down for about a year and a half now. I have a stick shift Fiat that I absolutely love and adore. And last August, so August of 2021, I was driving to work one day from my lunch break and it completely stopped shifting, and it was absolutely terrifying because I was like on a highway and could not shift gears, and I was like, what do I do? So I immediately called my dad because he's into cars and he takes care of all of my car stuff for me, and I live about 2 hours away from my parents. So my dad, who is an absolute amazing person when it comes to stuff like this, he's gotten me out of quite a few pickles involving my car. He came down, it was a few days later, but I was able to leave my car at work that day, and my boyfriend came and picked me up, and my dad ended up coming down and giving me his car to use and taking my car back, and it has not been fixed yet because I think both of us are struggling with undiagnosed ADHD, and it's very difficult to get things done. So he's given me tasks to do, like researching what parts it might need and how much it could cost and stuff like that. And I have not done them really. And he's also has some tasks like taking it somewhere to see if they could fix it, and he has not done that. But truly, I'm not in any rush. I'm just so grateful to have a car to drive still, since he gave me his car. And so I'm not in any bind for time or anything. It's fine. We'll get to it when we get to it. But my Fiat, who I love so dearly, his name is Luigi, a nice Italian name for my little Italian car. And my dad's car that I'm currently driving, I actually used to drive that as my primary car when I was in high school before I got my car, and we actually shared it because he would work a lot of night shifts, and so then when he got home from the night shift, I was able to take it to school, and then when I got home from school, he was able to take it to work. And so I actually named this car in high school, and its name is Claire. So I have Claire right now, and then I'm just waiting on Luigi to go to the doctor and get fixed up. Okay, our next question, while I continue to work on these books because I had no idea what I was doing here. is what was the most unique style or fashion trend that you ever embraced? And I really wanted to talk about this because I had quite a few questionable style choices growing up, especially in middle school, and I just wanted to talk about some of them that I fully embraced. So I think the earliest thing I can remember doing that was like a bold style choice was when I was in 5th grade, and there was a period of like months, like it was probably half the year, where I wore like skater skirts with knee-high socks every day. And looking back, that is so questionable. And I had people in my class ask me if I was turning goth because of this, which I don't really understand, because from what I remember, a lot of like the socks especially were very like bright colors and like fun. But so that's one of them that I remember. Also in middle school, I started wearing fake glasses. I didn't wear them to school because we weren't allowed to. They weren't in our dress code. But that was another one. I wore fake glasses, and I specifically wore them with this felt, kind of like a paperboy cap that I put pins into. And this was like my look. That was like my signature look for a little while. I also did bows in my hair. I did that in high school, actually. That was like freshman year of high school, and I would wear a bow like every day. I can, again, looking back on this now, I can really tell that these were like severe like hyperfixations, where I literally would wear these things like every day for like 2 weeks, and then I'd be done, and then it'd be like, get this out of my closet. Another thing in high school, this was like the same time as the bows, was colored jeans. I had a pair of jeans almost for every color of the rainbow. That was like my goal, was to get every color of the rainbow, but I never did. But I had red, maroon, I had mint green, but I also had like green, like bright green, not like neon or anything, but like green. I had like a royal blue. I had a coral pair. I had purple, like corduroy ones. And then I had two that were like animal print. So I had one that was leopard print and one that was like a navy blue with like zebra print and leopard print. That was a whole thing for like a year and a half, and then I had to get all new pants after that, because obviously when I was wearing those things, I did not have shirts to match these pants. But it's whatever. You know, looking back, I was actually pretty bold in my fashion choices. I always felt very like self-conscious about what I wore, and part of it was like sensory stuff, because like if I am not like fully covered, I feel just terrible, because I don't like feeling air on my skin. Like short sleeve shirts are fine, but like I can't do tank tops, I can't do like V-necks. Ugh, I hate V-necks. So I always thought I was very like reserved and kind of safe in what I wore to school, but actually looking back, I was bold, and like I'm proud of my younger self for having the confidence to do those things, because I don't think I could do it now. But I definitely think those were very unique trends. I definitely don't remember anybody else in my school wearing colored jeans or bows in their hair every day or anything like that. So that's my answer for that. Next question is, did you have an imaginary friend as a child? And the answer to that is yes, I did, but it went a lot further than just an imaginary friend, because I had a whole imaginary world in my head. It started off with one imaginary friend. Her name was Annalise, and she was very much inspired by Annalise Vanderpool from That's So Raven. She was a redhead, and in my imaginary world, she wore the green dress with the pink flowers from That's So Raven, that episode where Raven designs the dress and then they like Photoshop her to look thin, and it's a whole thing. It's a fantastic episode about body positivity and stuff, way ahead of its time. But that's what my imaginary friend Annalise was wearing. But Annalise also had a twin sister, and her name, I forget what her name was, but it was like maybe like Anastasia. It was something very similar to Annalise, and they were identical twins. And she had, I think it was just the same dress but inverted color. So it was pink with green flowers. And both of them had dogs and boyfriends. And then I had other imaginary couples too that had matching names. So like Samantha and Sam were a couple. Stuff like that. I was very into that idea for some reason as a kid, that like couples should have matching names. And then I took it a step farther and I created a picture book for myself where I had one of those folders that has like the little not brackets, but the little push pin things that you fold down. You like put the thing in the holes of the paper and then you push it down so it stays. Those things, one of those folders, and I had a whole bunch of paper in it, and I drew every single one of my imaginary friends and like wrote their name and a little thing about them and colored it in. And they also had cars. And then in my picture book of imaginary friends, I also had imaginary animal friends for every letter of the alphabet. So yes, I had imaginary friends as a child. I had an imaginary village as a child. You know what that says about me as an adult now, I don't know, but we won't get into that right now. The next question I have for you is, where is the most beautiful place you've ever been? And I will talk about this experience that I've had forever, as long as people will listen to it, because it's like one of the most memorable things of my life. And I typically don't remember lots of details about stuff, so I'm like holding on to this one to try to keep it in my head because it was just such a beautiful experience. So in 2019, I was very, very lucky and fortunate to be able to travel abroad for the first time ever. I had just graduated college, and my younger sister was just graduating high school. And that year, the high school that I went to that never did anything fun decided that they were going to do basically a study abroad trip, but it was like optional studying. So most of the kids who went were like older upperclassmen, and then they were given the option to like, I think they had to like write papers on things, and then they would get like some college credit for it or something. But we just went for fun. So I got to go with my mom and my younger sister, and we went to Italy as well as Spain for a few days. The trip in total was, I think, 10 days long, with 2 of them being like fully travel days. Well, really 3 of them being fully travel days, because it was like a day to fly there, a day to fly back, and then there was a full day of taking a boat from Italy to Spain. So it was like 7 days in the countries, like just being a tourist, and it was absolutely amazing. I will forever be grateful for that opportunity. But the absolutely most beautiful place I've ever been was Florence, Italy. And I think the reason it's I hold that to such high esteem in my head is because of the experience we had there. We spent the day walking around Florence. We got to try kind of explore on our own a little bit. But then when we were leaving, we took our bus up to this park that was like on a hillside, and the sun was setting. It was like the perfect time, and we got to look out over the whole city while the sun was setting. Like the bridges in Florence are like beautiful. There's like a whole bunch of them, and just the city itself is so beautiful. And then the sun was setting, and there were these like Italian old men singing songs and people playing guitar, and it was just like such a beautiful experience. And that's easily the most beautiful place I've ever been. The next question I have for you all also involves travel, but it's a little more domestic, and it is, how many states have you been to? So I have traveled to 16 states, and then I live in a state, obviously, but I'm not going to disclose what state that is. And when I say travel to, I only count the states where I've either spent a significant amount of time or went to that state for a specific purpose. I'm not counting any states that I've just like driven through or anything like that. So a lot of the states that I've been to are out west. I have family that lives out there, and so we've done 2 trips out west. One was with my entire family, and we spent like 2 weeks in the west during summertime. And the states that we visited when we did that were Arizona and Nevada, as well as New Mexico and Texas. So we spent like the full first week we spent in Las Vegas. It was pretty fun. It's not the best place to go when you have young kids. It was the summer before I started middle school, so I was like 11 at that time, and then I have a younger sister as well, and then my older siblings aren't that much older than me, so we were like all under 18 for sure, probably all under 16. I'm not sure how old my oldest sister was at the time, but it was still fun. We went to like magic shows and stuff like that. We went to a zoo, I think, but I don't really remember, but it was fun. I would definitely say we didn't need to spend a full week there, and I think my parents would agree with that after we did it, but it was a fun time. And then after that we went to Arizona for most of the time. We went to Arizona, and then we went from Arizona through Nevada into Texas to visit some other family in Texas, and then went back to Arizona and like flew out from Arizona. So we spent the majority of the time in Arizona, got to see the Grand Canyon. We actually drove down into the Grand Canyon, which I still am not sure if we were supposed to do that, but it's something we did. We got to see the Hoover Dam, which was really cool. And then also visiting a lot of family, of course, was very good. It's, that side of the family we don't see very often. Most of them I had never met before. Probably all of them I had never met before, actually. So it was good to meet them and like see them. And then from Arizona, we went to El Paso, Texas, where I have other family, and spent, I think, 2 days in El Paso. But we did stop in we did stop in New Mexico on the way to El Paso for a full day, and we went to the White Sands National Park, which was so fun. It was beautiful. We spent like hours just running down the sand dunes and face planting, because we were kids, and that's what was fun. And then went to El Paso and really just visited family. We didn't really do any touristy things in Texas. We just spent time with family, went and got some good Mexican food, and then went back to Arizona and flew out from there. And then the second out west trip was just me and my younger sister and my mom. And we, on that trip, went to Arizona to visit family again, and then also did a little road trip from Arizona to California and spent some time there because it was like my dream to go to California. I was like infatuated with Los Angeles. And so we went to San Diego for a little bit because we were planning to visit some family there, but they ended up, it was my cousin who was pregnant at the time and wasn't like feeling up to it, so we just spent the day in San Diego, and then also went to LA and spent the whole day doing touristy things, seeing the Hollywood sign and the like the Walk of Fame and the handprints and everything. So that was really fun. So that's Arizona, California, Nevada, Texas, and New Mexico. That's 5 of the states that I've talked about now. I also, with my mom and my younger sister, did a big road trip on the East Coast, specifically the Northeast. So on that road trip, we went to Niagara Falls, and we went to New York. We spent a few days in New York City, which was actually the second time I've been to New York. The first time was in 6th grade. I went on a week-long work camp in Brooklyn through my church. So then we went again with my mom and my sister, which that was like a big touristy trip too. Went to Times Square. We got to see Wicked on Broadway, which was another dream come true for me. And on that road trip, we also went to Massachusetts and spent the day in Boston and did like a bus tour, which was really fun. And also in the Northeast, I talked about a little bit, I don't know that I even mentioned it, but we did go to Pennsylvania on that road trip as well. We went to Lake Erie. But we've also, my family and I just go to Pennsylvania a lot. We used to go to Hershey Park like every summer growing up, and then my brother lived there for a few years, and we go to Pennsylvania all the time. Like, that's like a second home state to me almost, because we went so often growing up. I've also gone to Maryland quite a bit. We used to do lots of Baltimore trips, and we've also gone to the National Harbor a few times, which is fun. We also go to North Carolina quite a bit. That's typically where we go to vacation almost every year now. We go to the Outer Banks a lot, which I love. I think it's absolutely gorgeous there. And we've also gone to South Carolina, to Myrtle Beach for a few vacations. I've also been to Tennessee. I went for a weekend for a football game. And I also count New Jersey in the states that I've been to, because that's actually where I bought my Fiat. And we ended up spending the entire day in New Jersey buying my car, because I'm pretty sure it took like 8 hours that we were in the car dealership. So I count that, because that was a lot of time spent there. And then I've also been to Colorado before for a youth conference through my church. We spent a week there. We lived on Colorado State's campus for the week and got to hike the Rocky Mountains, which was beautiful, but it was also so tiring because I was so out of shape. And we were on a time limit, so I didn't even get to the peak of the mountain, because I was like, some of my friends that were there with me made it to the peak because they were tryhards, but I was like, I'm out of breath and I can't do this, so I'm not gonna worry about it. The views were still good, even from lower on the mountain. I also went to Wisconsin when I was younger. I've got family there as well, and we spent like a week, I think, just staying with family, and we did a Wisconsin Dells duck tour, which I still have memories of, and that's about the only memories I have from that though, so I really can't talk very much on Wisconsin. And then the last one is Florida. I've gone to Disney World 3 times now. 2 of them were when I was a very small child, and I have very few memories of it. One of the times when I was a child, I ended up being sick and staying in the hotel room for a few days. And then the most recent time was in 2019 for the Halloween Mickey's Not So Scary party. We got to go to that. It was for my birthday, kind of, but the real reason was that my mom had a conference through her work in Orlando in one of the Disney hotels, so we got the hotel pretty cheap. Maybe even free, I doubt it, but I think it was very cheap. And so I went with my mom, and then my brother and his wife also came because they're big Disney fans and they go a lot, and so they came too. And that should be all 16 states, and then the one that I live in that I'm not going to name. Okay, and my final question I have for this round of icebreakers is, do you collect anything? And the answer is yes, I most certainly do. I was that child that I wanted to collect something so badly. Like, specifically, I wanted American Girl dolls. Anything that is like a set or a collection, like, I absolutely adore. Like, I need it. I wanted every American Girl doll. I had 0 American Girl dolls because, let's be real, they were expensive, and I understand that. I am perfectly fine with the fact I didn't have an American Girl doll growing up, but it's just the idea of having a collection of something. It's always been so appealing to me. And so now that I am an adult with my own money, yes, I am collecting things. If you saw my last A Little to the Left video with the video intro, and you could see my background, or you see any of my TikToks and see my background, you will notice I have a lot of Squishmallows. So that's one thing. I also collect Doorables, and like Funko Pops, lots of little collectible things that I'm into. My Squishmallows and Funko Pops I wouldn't really consider collecting so much as just having a lot of them, because that doesn't really feel like trying to complete a set, which is a big part of collecting, I think, and that's more just, at least in my opinion. I know probably other people have different opinions about what collecting is, which is perfectly fine. But I just kind of pick Squishmallows that I think are cute, and Funko Pops, I really only get ones that I'm like super interested in the subject matter of the Funko Pops. But Doorables, I do consider collecting, and I've actually completed series 5, and then I have quite a few from series 6, and then some from 7 and 8, as well as I just got some of the Let's Go packs. So those I would consider very much collecting, because I am trying to get the full set, and I have gotten the full set for at least one of them. And then another thing that I consider very much collecting is the Stitch Crashes Disney items. I don't know if you all are familiar with this, but last year, I think it was last year, it might have been the year before, I don't know, but Disney came out with this line called Stitch Crashes Disney. If you don't know, I am absolutely obsessed with Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. And they came out with this line where it's a Stitch plush, but the design of the plush is themed after a different Disney movie. And so, like, the first one that came out, I think the first one was Beauty and the Beast. And it was this purple Stitch, and he had roses all over him. And it's just that, and there were 12 of them. I think it was supposed to be like one every month, but it ended up taking longer than a year because some of them I think got delayed. Maybe it was planned to be like that, but it started off being like once a month, and then it kind of got pushed back as it got farther into the series. But they came out with this series, and it had plushes. It also had enamel pins, magic band things. I don't know what those are even called. The like covers you can put your magic band in. Mugs, t-shirts, and maybe there was some other stuff. I'm not really sure, but I really wanted the plushes. I think this concept is so adorable. I loved it. Like every month I was so excited to see what it was going to be, see what movies they were going to be doing next. And I just loved it. And by the time I knew it was a thing, the first one was sold out. And of course, it's Disney. It's like a limited release thing. The resale was absolutely insane. When I looked for the first one on resale sites, like this was only a few weeks after it had launched. Maybe not even that long. It was not that long after it launched. Resellers were already selling them for like $300 to $400. And the retail price of the plushes was $30. That's like insane. And I knew it would be. So basically after that, after I missed out on the first one, I was like, okay, well, you know, what's the point of trying to start this collection now? Because the resale value is so high, I'm never going to be able to get this. And then my birthday rolled around that year. And my brother and his wife, who I said are very Disney obsessed, they got me for my birthday the Stitch plush that was the Sleeping Beauty themed. And they said, oh, it's perfect for your birthday because the Sleeping Beauty plush, it's like half pink and half blue, and then it's got like the birthday candles on top. It's like meant to look like her topsy-turvy birthday cake. And they were like, oh, it's perfect for your birthday, and I know you wanted these, so here you go. Which I love, and I appreciate them getting me that because it really was a perfect gift. However, it unlocked something inside of me that I needed to have all of them. Because I had given up hope completely after the first one, and then it was like, oh, but here's one. Now that you have one, you have to have all of them. So, needless to say, I don't have all of them right now. I did not manage to get all of them. I absolutely cannot afford all of them at this point. I cannot pay reseller values. But I do have 5 of them. I have 5 of the 12. So the first one I got was the Sleeping Beauty one that I got for my birthday. And then after that, I got the Jungle Book one, which is adorable. He has a little banana on his head, and it's so, so cute. And then I got the Pocahontas one. He has a little hat, and it's got like the leaves, like the colors of the wind song all over him. And then I got the Peter Pan one, and he has little wings, and he's like, looks like a map of Neverland, and he's really adorable. And then I got the last one in the series, which is the Mulan one, which is so beautiful. It's like a silky texture, that's another really cool thing about these, is that it's not just the designs of them that are different, they are like different textures to fit the movie too. Like Mulan's is very silky. The Pocahontas one is more of like an almost suede material, and then the other ones that I have are more like, I don't even know what that material is, but it's like kind of like a rougher plush material. I really don't know what this material is called, but it's like a thicker, not so soft material. So I have 5 of them, which means I am missing 7. And if anyone's interested in them, I will tell you what each of them were. Okay, so the first one was Beauty and the Beast with the rose. The second one was Lady and the Tramp, and he looks like spaghetti and meatballs and like has a meatball on his head. It is so cute. The third one is The Lion King, and it's like he's got like a cool pattern on him and then bugs on his head, which is really adorable. The next one was The Little Mermaid, and this one was so pretty. It's got like a starfish flower thing on his ear, and it's like very pretty tropical like flowers all over him. And then next after that was Pinocchio, and he looks like wood grain and has Pinocchio's hat. And then there was Aladdin, and he has, I think it's like, yeah, it's like a booze hat, and then he's got like the lamp on him and a fun pattern. And then after Aladdin was the Sleeping Beauty, and then after that was Snow White, and he's like blue with flowers on him and a poison apple. It's very cute. And then after Snow White was Jungle Book, and then I have the rest after that. But then I discovered through TikTok actually that there used to be a line kind of similar to this, but it was Minnie Mouse, and I think it was themed after different rides. I'm not sure exactly, because I know they currently have a series that's Mickey Mouse themed to Disney World and Disneyland, I think, rides. And I want it so bad because I just want the collection. I love Disney. I love Disney World. And like, it's such a fun concept too, that I just really want it. But I'm not even going to try to that because my bank account cannot handle that. But those are all of my icebreakers that I have for you. I've been rambling way too much. This video is super long, but hopefully you all are interested in the gameplay enough. I'm also considering uploading a version of the video that's only gameplay with no talking, but I'm not sure if people would be interested in that. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. Also, let me know any questions you have for me, because I will be making another A Little to the Left video, and I would love to answer some questions if you all have any. But I'm really running out of icebreakers and things to talk about at this point, so we're gonna do this last little puzzle here and then call it a day on this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I love just being able to ramble with you all and play some cozy games. It brightens my day. I hope it brings a smile to yours. If you are interested in following me, all of my socials will be down below. If you enjoyed this video or this content, consider subscribing and joining my little community of noodles. You can hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post. Right now I'm still trying to work out my 2 videos a week schedule, so who knows when things will be being uploaded. But Sundays should be pretty surefire. It's just that second video that might be a little bit different every week until I get the hang of it. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. And that's pretty much all I've got for you guys. Let me know if there is any other content you want to see, any specific games or challenges within games, especially The Sims, because I do like to do Sim Sunday videos. So any build challenges, cast challenges, even gameplay challenges, I'm open to whatever. Just let me know what you want to see and I will try to make that happen for you. With all that being said, I appreciate you all so much. Each and every one of you has a special place in my heart. And if we could just get these pictures in the correct order, that'd be great. But with all that being said, I hope you all have a fantastic week, and this is a good place to stop as we are now going to be in chapter 3. So I'll see you all next time. Bye guys.